Welcome to Coach on the Couch. I'm your host, Jason Zaleski, and on today's show, on our couch, is Spencer Rocket head baseball coach, Tim Buttke. Coach, thanks for being here today.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, I think we're going to have some fun. We're going to learn all about Spencer Rocket baseball and probably a couple other things along the way. So thanks for tuning in again. Live streams this year of high school sports can be found at zaleskisports.com. And then highlights can be found on Facebook and at zaleskisportshow.com. So we look forward to having that, and we'll have an opportunity, I'm sure, to catch at least a couple of your games this year, Coach. But before we get into that, let's just tell our audience a little bit about you, folks that are either new to this show or new to Spencer Rocket baseball. So you're at the start of your second year?
Yep, this is my second season at Spencer. Coached football there for 6 years. I'm a graduate of Marshfield High School, got into coaching a little bit while I was in college, so really enjoyed it. Got the job as a junior high football coach. The baseball job opened up, and I'm blessed to have it. So
yeah, cool. Okay, well, what we've learned so far, guys, two Tigers here talking, and that's always good. So, all right. So, just tell us a bit about your baseball history. You know, in America, a lot of boys and girls, but a lot of boys spend time swinging a wiffle ball bat or a baseball bat over in the lot across the street. So, tell us your history of baseball.
Sure. I coached a little bit of baseball right out of college. Helped out with junior high with the Marshfield Middle School. Other than that, my experience is mostly just playing as a young kid, playing through middle school. My dad was always a coach, so kind of had the coaching mindset in the family. Like I said, then the varsity job came up. I was an assistant for 1 year, and then just thought I'd give it a try, and here I am. All
right, good. And you mentioned it a little bit, but I always ask, why Spencer? Just a matter of coincidence and timing, it sounds like.
Well, Spencer had a job opening for their middle school football program when I was in college. I applied for it. I'm very blessed. I was put in a position where I got to learn from some really outstanding coaches and some great people from around the area. The Jason Gores, I got to know him, kind of watch his football program, which is great to learn from. And just so many other really good people that I got to learn from, like Joe Konechny, just a lot of high-quality coaches. So I'm very thankful in that regard.
Yeah, we've got a lot of good coaching in our area. I mean, you think of a 50-mile radius of Marshfield, and up to and including Wausau, Rapids Point, and everywhere in between. Pittsville's got some things going on down there, and Spencer, besides being a great place to live and a great place to go to school, a big-time sports community there in Spencer. You'd agree with that?
Yeah, like I said, when I first came there, they weren't. I wouldn't say they're kind of under the radar. They had some success. They were definitely on the upswing. But like I said, I got placed with a good program that had a lot of really good coaches on their football staff. And the good thing about that is a lot of those coaches coached other sports as well. So I got hooked up with baseball. I got to learn from guys like Justin Rayburn, Todd Hildebrandt. Steve Pills has been tremendously helpful for me. So just a lot of good people I could learn from.
Yeah, and all those names the coaches mentioned, they're all household names, at least in my house. So we're here to talk about the 2018 version of the Spencer Rockets. You're watching Coach on the Couch, and we're here visiting with Spencer head coach Tim Buttke. Before we do, though, Coach, let's just talk just briefly about last year, and let's just start with your memories of 2017, your first year as a head baseball coach.
We were pretty young last year. We didn't have any seniors on the team. So we had a lot of guys that were returning to the program but hadn't really played a lot of significant varsity baseball yet. We finished, I think, one game above 500. We lost a couple games that we probably shouldn't have, but we definitely played our best baseball towards the end of the year. We ended up winning our regional, making it to sectionals. We got eliminated there, but definitely played our best baseball towards the end of the year.
And for a young team, having that playoff success, that's going to be handy coming up here. Yeah,
I think it just shows them that they could do it. They beat some quality teams. Like I said, we beat Colby, beat Stratford, beat Auburndale. Those are all three quality teams. So I think it gave them confidence, and it should give them confidence going into this year.
Sure. Okay. As we slowly segue now into 2018, what are maybe one or two key losses, graduation or whatever may have happened?
We haven't really had any losses. Okay. I would say we have a lot of good incoming freshmen, and we have a lot of good kids that are coming out that haven't played baseball in a couple of years, that maybe saw the success and wanted to maybe be a part of it. So we definitely have a lot of battles going on right now for playing time, which is a good problem to have.
Sure. Now we sit here, it's April 13th, Friday the 13th, for those of you keeping track at home. Any games under your belt so far? Or
we have not had
postponement season, right? That's what I call it.
We have not had any games.
Yeah.
We were supposed to have 6 in.
Yeah.
So it's snowing out today, so we'll
double
see.
headers on the way.
Yep, that's the way it sounds.
Nothing wrong with that. I happen to like a double header, so but coaches may have a different opinion of that. So all right, well let's fully now jump into 2018, and then how will this team, if at all, be different? Different strategy, different concepts from 17 to 18.
I don't think we'll have different strategies. I think we'll expect a lot more out of each other. I know we aren't picked in our conference to do a whole lot, but I know we expect a lot out of ourselves, and I think our kids expect to win every game, as they should. I mean, they're a talented group, and we have the ability to definitely make a run again if we put our best baseball together. Sure.
Now you said a lot of youth on this year's team. Any seniors at all, or who might people look to as the trendsetters or leaders in the dugout?
We have a number of newcomers, so we'll have some youth, but with that being said, it won't be as youthful as last year. Some of our seniors are Hunter Lipke, which I'm sure you know very well. Mm-hmm. Everybody in the area does. I mean, he's a fantastic athlete. He does it all for us. He's a great pitcher. He's a great hitter. Anytime you have a kid like that on your team, you have the chance to go far. Next, I would say it's probably one of the most overrated baseball players in our conference is Caden Schillinger. Not a whole lot of people know him. He batted .450 last year. He's a good kid, real good batter. Dominic Wicklosh is a great fielder that we have. He's a team leader. Just one of those kids that very rarely makes mistakes. And then we have some others, that aren't seniors that kind of round out the group. Carson Hildebrandt's another one where just a very talented athlete, brings a lot to the table, good batter. So,
okay, all right. Now you mentioned probably half the starting lineup there, and that's all good information. Who are maybe one or two under the radar guys, or as the season goes on, and this happens in sports, an athlete starts here, and as the season goes on, they kind of climb up a little bit, maybe unexpected, except to a coach. A coach always knows who those players are. So who are some of those names?
There's really a handful. It's going to be interesting to see who takes those next steps. I mean, we have kids that look real good in the gymnasium right now, but that's not where we play games.
Yeah,
so,
right.
One of the kids that I think looks good and I think has grown a lot from last year is Brett Cash. I think he has a lot of ability. I think he's only a sophomore, but I think he's going to be real good before his senior year. Colton Schillinger has really impressed me. He's another kid that's just very, very talented. But they're young. They're still putting together. They're still learning the game. So it'll take some time with them. Other than that, there's really a handful of kids that could fall under that category. Sure.
And then one of the last questions that we'll talk about here is I've heard the names, and we cover sports here year round. As I've heard your names, a lot of multi-sport athletes that you're talking about there. So tell maybe other kids, maybe they're in middle school right now, or maybe they're thinking about as a freshman or sophomore to do more next year. What's the advantage of playing multiple sports in school?
I think if you play multiple sports, you just redefine your skills as an athlete. There's not very many kids that are good enough just to specialize in one specific sport. When I think of great athletes, being multi-sport athletes, I look at kids like Hunter Lipke. I mean, he could essentially be as good as he wants to be in any sport he plays. He was fantastic in football, obviously, a state champion in wrestling, all conference in baseball, all 3 years, probably going to be a 4th year. So I imagine, when I talk to kids about why not to specialize, I would point to him and say, if this is probably one of the better athletes around, if he doesn't specialize, you probably shouldn't either.
And if you didn't need any other reason to go watch Spencer Rocket baseball this year. Coach has mentioned Hunter a couple times. I've got to know Hunter over the course of the last couple of years, and not only is Hunter and all the rest of the kids too great athletes, great students, great ambassadors of Spencer, but Hunter's just a great kid. I remember I was covering a volleyball game, and Spencer was I forget who they were, maybe Auburndale. And standing in the corner of the gymnasium, there he was, Hunter Lupke, just cheering on the girls' volleyball team. So get out and watch these guys this year. I think definitely going to be some good things that happen there. They've already got playoff experience, so you know that they're going to have playoffs on their minds. So get up to Spencer and watch the games, and then also keep an eye on ZaleskiSports.com for the live stream schedule. Coach, best of luck in 2018. Thanks again for coming in.
Yep, thank you for having me.
Yeah. All right, guys. Coach on the couch. Thanks for watching, and there'll be a whole lot more of these coming out as spring sports starts to get underway here eventually. As I mentioned, April 13th, and there's snow called for on April 15th. So, but the sports will happen. So we'll have a couple more coaches in, and then we'll get the whole thing underway. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.